The average woman has men that she doesn't like at all. Then she has those that she likes a bit, and then there is that one guy she is addicted to. When she wakes up in the morning and checks her phone, she wants to see his text. While she's busy playing everybody else, that guy is the one playing her. I know, you're probably thinking such a man has to be very rich and handsome, but that's not always the case. In fact, lots of times that dude in question is an average Joe. So what are those guys doing right? Alright, let's get into it. Silence. Silence can be a powerful tool when getting to know somebody new. Instead of always feeling the need to fill the air with words, learn to be comfortable with moments of quiet. You can use silence strategically to create curiosity, leading to a deeper connection. But how? When you first meet a woman, engage her in friendly conversation to show your interest and put her at ease. Then, allow brief pauses in the back and forth where you simply make eye contact and smile warmly without rushing to speak. These silent moments give space for meaningful thoughts to emerge on both sides. She will likely reflect on what was just said or feel inspired to open up further. Also, this will probably make her wonder what you're thinking. You see, it comes off as maturity when you resist the urge to immediately respond to every comment. So take a breath before answering to appear relaxed and thoughtful. Use pauses to signal that you're truly engaged with what she shares, not just waiting for your turn to talk again. If you're spending all your time in a conversation thinking about what you're going to say next and not listening to the other person, how can you expect people to want to listen to you? It doesn't work that way. So the quiet allows her to linger on the words long after they were spoken. Then as you get to know each other better, purposefully decrease the frequency of interactions to maintain her interest. Send one thoughtful text in the morning with a question instead of a constant message. Let a day or two pass without communication. That'll leave her wanting more of you. And with this push and pull dynamic, you'll be able to keep that relationship fresh, stopping it from becoming routine or boring. Active listening. Here we are again. Active listening is one of the most important skills that you need as a man. But why? Because, as they say, information is power, and so your ability to listen helps you gain that power. When applied in the dating game, it shows the woman that you truly care about what she has to say. Now, being silent helps you listen more, so yes, both the first skill and this one do go hand in hand. Now, to be an active listener, you need to give your woman your full attention. Make eye contact and face her directly so that she knows you're engaged in the conversation. Nod your head or say things like, "uh-huh," to confirm that you're following along, and resist the urge to check your phone or let your mind wander to other things. Pay attention to not just the words that they're saying, but also the tone of their voice and body language. These nonverbal cues can provide important context around their message. If they seem upset or frustrated when talking about something, ask follow-up questions to gain deeper understandings of why they feel that way. Rather than waiting for your turn to speak, ask open-ended questions that encourage her to elaborate. For example, you could ask, "What was it like when that happened?" Or, "How did that make you feel?" Let her do a lot of the talking while you actively listen without interrupting. If you can't do that in conversation, you're not fun to talk to. End of story. Now, you have to avoid steering the conversation back to yourself after listening. No, you need to wait till she asks you a question. But why? Because that's one way to know that she's really interested in you. If at no point does she ask about your own experience, well then she's probably not interested in you and you should drop her. That, or she also lacks basic social common sense. And I'm not telling you to not relate with your own stories, but at the very least, make a comment, expand on something she said, and if another moment of silence hits afterwards, then bring that thing up. Knowing when to leave. Leaving conversations at the right moment is a very important skill for building intrigue and interest. Much like a good book or a movie, you want to end the interaction while things are still positive and leave the woman wanting more. This creates anticipation for your next conversation. So, when talking with a woman that you're interested in, pay attention to the flow of the conversation. Once things start to feel like they're winding down naturally, that's your cue time to depart. You can sense the lulls in conversation where it would be easy to overstay your welcome. Instead of forcing the interaction, gracefully bring it to a close. A simple, "Well, I better get going, but it was great talking with you," works all the time. You can also add that you look forward to continuing the discussion another time. The key is ending on an upbeat rather than staying until things get stale. You see, Leaving at the right moment has a similar effect to a cliffhanger ending in a TV show or a book. It leaves the girl curious and wanting more. And if you were ever a fan of these series, 24, then you probably remember what it felt like waiting for a new episode or a season. Yeah, you want to put her in that situation, basically. Interestingly, you can only develop this skill by paying attention to the entire conversation and recognizing when things are starting to stale. Leadership. The truth is, women are built to be followers of men, real men. So it is in women's DNA to crave a natural leader. So you want to get her addicted, show her your ability to take control of any situation with ease. A friend of mine named John is a great example of this. Back in college, he organized fundraising events and brought our friend group together regularly for sports. Although he wasn't really handsome or well-dressed, the girls could not help but flock around him like bees to honey. He got his skill naturally, but look, you too can cultivate the leadership qualities that you need. As a man, you're made to be a leader, so the seeds of leadership are already inside of you, no pun intended. You just need to nurture them. And you can start by planning group activities. Offer to find a fun new restaurant for dinner with friends or coordinate a weekend hiking trip. In the planning process, solicit ideas from others, but ultimately make the final decisions with confidence. People, especially women, respect those who can take charge decisively. I know I do. At work, look for opportunities to lead projects from start to finish. Volunteer to manage deadlines and delegate tasks to teammates. For your first date, be the one to decide the location and activity. Have a few interesting options in mind based on her interests, but present your choice with assurance rather than asking for approval. But hey, don't forget that a good leader picks with empathy, care, and respect for others. They lead that way. Consider different perspectives, give credit where it's due, and certainly address issues constructively as they arise. That'll make you incredibly desirable to women. Gift giving. Oh, gift giving is a thoughtful way to show somebody that you care. Rather than buying something expensive or, worse yet, saying, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Taking the time to choose a meaningful gift can have such a lasting impact. I remember one Christmas when I was in high school, my friend Sarah had been going on about this new book by her favorite author. While I didn't have much money, I searched used bookstores until I found a copy. The look on Sarah's face when she unwrapped that was priceless. She was so surprised and touched that I listened and remembered something so specific. A small gift, but it meant so much because it showed that I paid attention to what she cared about. And if you have a little bit more money to spend and you want to get a gift that will sit in their mind for years. So for example, like my girlfriend loves books, and so I decided to pay an artist a small sum, it was like $150 or so, to create art with which I wrote a book and printed that book out. So all around about $200, but she got a customized children's book about her life story. It's just stuff like that, just thoughtful stuff that shows that you pay attention to the person. Again, that might not be so soon down the line, little gifts at first, but once you know them, thoughtful gifts are just infinitely better than pricey gifts. And again, my girlfriend likes books, but maybe this girl likes cooking, a new recipe book. That would be an awesome gesture in that case. Once again, you see that really listening and conversations provide clues for gifts ideas that align with her passions. But here's something to keep in mind. Lavish or intimate gifts given too soon may come across as trying too hard, or worse, might make her feel like that's all you have to impress her with. In both cases, she's probably going to help you spend the money and give nothing back. A smile accompanied by genuine compliments. You ever thought about the impact of your smile? Indeed, studies have shown that nonverbal communication, including smiles, accounts for about 50% of interactions, so you definitely want to use that cute smile. But here's something that makes your smile even more effective. Let's say that she just completed an important project. You should give her a genuine compliment along with your best smile. You can smile and say something like, "You work so hard, it's no wonder you're so good at what you do, and I love you for it." The thing is, you really don't want to limit your compliments to her looks, so appreciate her intelligence, her kindness, her wit, her achievements, whatever she finds important. And when you acknowledge her strengths and her accomplishments, you're showing her that you value her for who she is as a person. Now that we're halfway through the video, why don't you hit that subscribe button to support the channel? Do the same for the like button if you're enjoying the video. All done? Let's continue. Confidence. Having confidence in who you are and what you can achieve is so important. Listen, You can do everything right when it comes to women, and you will still fail if you don't have confidence. Back in my college days, I was too shy to put myself out there, so I'd sit in the back of class, afraid to speak up or join study groups. My lack of confidence really put people, especially girls, off from getting to know the real me. I shit you not, it wasn't until my final year that I decided to start challenging myself, so I joined the debate team to practice public speaking in a low-stakes environment. And at first, it's terrifying, but with each speech, I felt myself growing more comfortable in my own skin. I also started saying yes when friends asked me to social events, even if part of me wanted to stay in. It was a battle back and forth, but I let the right voice win. Pushing past that initial discomfort really helped boost my self-assurance, and today, it's not even a battle, I just do it. You see, true confidence isn't about thinking that you're better than anybody else. It's about feeling comfortable and secure with both your strengths and your weaknesses. The key is focusing on your positive qualities and accomplishments rather than dwelling on perceived flaws. Make room in your brain to recognize your flaws, but do not dwell. Now here's something to practice. Make a list of the things that you're proud of, big or small. That's going to remind you of how far you've come and take away a bit of that pressure. Remember, having confidence also means being able to laugh at yourself, to just laugh at the absolute dumbass that you are from time to time. Don't take yourself too seriously, and don't worry about coming across as perfect. With confidence, a woman may fall in love with your imperfection. Ability to pick the right topics. So you just started going on dates with this special lady, and as they say, first impressions last forever. So how do you pick the topics to discuss? That's a serious matter that can make or break the entire date, so how do you do it? Well, you definitely don't want to be the guy in the house party who just can't stop ranting about his controversial political views or blowing hot on the latest conspiracy theory. You see, the best conversations are lighthearted, and they allow both people to find common ground. Now, topics like traveling, food, and often work. You guys can swap stories about your favorite destinations and cultural experiences. And from there, the conversation can proceed in a very organic way. A wise approach is to focus on positive subjects that promote connection, like hobbies, interests, arts, sports, or pop culture. Asking open-ended questions is a great way to learn from the other person in a low-pressure kind of way. Complimenting an outfit is also a safe conversation starter. From there, look for opportunities to find mutual interests that you can discuss at a more in-depth level. It's best to steer clear of religion, politics, or other hot-button topics. Creating options. You want to be irresistible to women? The secret might be a lot simpler than you think. Being likable and interesting is all about broadening your horizons and not putting all your eggs into one basket. Imagine this. There's a special someone you've got your eye on, and you've fallen completely. It's easy to get tunnel vision and hang your hopes on this one person. But here's a pro tip that a lot of investors offer: diversify. Yeah, no, it works for relationships too. You want to chat with different people, go out with friends, keep meeting new faces. That does two big things for you. First, it boosts the odds of clicking with someone who really gets you. And second, it makes you way more intriguing to the ladies. But why is that? Well, when a woman sees that you're the man in town, someone who's got a lot of people vying for his attention, you become the prize. It's all about supply and demand, baby. If you're the guy who can strike up a conversation with anyone at any time, at any place, that's pure gold. It shows confidence and charisma, and hey, who doesn't love a social butterfly? But it's not just about looking good on the outside. By branching out in your social life, you give off a vibe that you're secure and self-sufficient. No girl wants to be with a guy who reeks of desperation. It's about finding the right balance between being available and not being overbearing. Build familiarity. If you're aiming to be unforgettable to women, learning how to make them feel seen and appreciated is key. Think of building familiarity as crafting a secret handshake or shared inside joke. It's about making memorable moments that stick. Here, compliments can be a powerful tool when used right. Imagine you're at a supermarket, you're casually tossing veggies into your basket. You spot a woman with a unique piece of jewelry. That's your way in. The jewelry likely wasn't a random choice by her either. It might express her style or hold sentimental value. Thus, a compliment about the jewelry wouldn't come off as just a few nice words. It would come off as the recognition of her individuality or something more personal. But here's the thing. It's not just about what she wears. you gotta notice all the small details, the effort that she put into her look, or the book that she's engrossed in. These details can be very powerful during your conversations. Will you fumble? Perhaps. Early tries might be awkward or fall flat, but it ain't no big deal. Every attempt is practice, honing your ability to see and appreciate the people around you. With time, everything will come together. Remember to build familiarity. You need to know her goals, you need to know her hobbies, and anything that makes her tick. Then you'll need to find common ground, and that is how you build familiarity. The kind where you become the man who gets her. That's the man that she's subconsciously going to get addicted to, because guess what? She's never going to be able to find a replacement. The 3-minute theory. So, you're looking for a way to quickly click with someone? Have you heard of the 3-minute theory? Trust me, it ain't no magic trick. It's actually rooted in psychology, and it is surprisingly simple. So, what's the deal? It's all about nailing the first impression and laying the groundwork for a connection in about 3 minutes. Does that sound impossible? Not with this tip. Remember how hearing your name being called grabs your attention? Well, it's because our names are deeply tied to our identity. During a chat with her, using her name a few times can fast-track the bond that you've been building. So, let's break it down. You meet someone new and she says, "Hi, I'm Emma." Now, you sprinkle her name into the conversation. Maybe, "Emma, what brings you here?" Or, I agree with you, Emma." It's very subtle, but it's effective. You're not just another conversation to her. You're somebody who's paying attention to, at the very least, her name. That's it. But hey, you don't want to overdo it. Remember, you're aiming for a familiar, not a fanatic. Repeating her name like a broken record is more likely to send her running than swooning. The ideal frequency, according to psychologists, is 3 mentions in 3 minutes. And that's it. Incorporate this into your daily interactions. Consistency is your friend here. And remember, confidence is your wingman in every social dance. If you don't get the reaction you were hoping for, keep your head up. It's not personal. It's just part of the game. There are countless opportunities out there, and each one is a new chance to shine. So stick with the social skills that you're learning, and before you know it, they're gonna become second nature. Takes a while to build habits. Takes a lot of sucking before you build those habits. And remember, for every person who might not have responded the way you hoped, there will be 10 more who appreciate you for what you have to offer. Now that you know the skills, all you gotta do is practice them, and before you know it, you will become irresistible to women. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'd love to help. Also, you can learn more in the next video.